Hi, this is Nathan East. Really happy to be here speaking to you at bassfrontiersmag.com. Always great when people acknowledge the bass community, and I feel really blessed because having been born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and then later moving to San Diego area and where I was raised, I had so many great musical experiences that I've had over the years that just resulted in sort of dreams I had growing up. I first kind of started noticing music just by listening to actually Vince Guaraldi's music on the Charlie Brown specials. Caught my ear once, and it made me want to do something musically. So I remember going to my junior high school teacher and asking if there was anything that I could play, that preferably piano. They didn't have piano, so I had a choice between the violin, viola, cello, or bass. And I was a little guy, so the upright bass was a little too big, and the violin and viola, those were a little bit too small, so I picked the cello, and I played cello from the 7th to the 9th grade. And I absolutely loved it. It was fun to play in the little orchestra there. I'll never forget, though, standing outside the stage band door of my brother's high school and hearing the big band playing over there, and I heard a bass, and my ear just went to it, and it sounded awesome to me. And little did I know that I would end up discovering the bass. One of the things while I was tagging along with my older brothers, Raymond and David, while they were playing, they used to play in church every Sunday, and we'd go up there, and I looked up on the altar one Sunday, and there was a bass sitting on a stand. Nobody was playing it, nobody was around it, and I picked the thing up, and all of a sudden it was like I just discovered a new magical thing. I couldn't put my finger on why this was so special, but I started playing with the guys and just realized that not only was this something that felt pretty easy for me, it just felt like something that really made me want to pick it up and learn how to play it. So I remember borrowing that instrument from its owner. And shortly after that, when I went to the 10th grade, I joined the stage band there and started learning how to read music. And then I basically got involved in as many bands as I could, garage bands, lots of bands in high school, and just really immersing myself in music. I was influenced then, I started listening to all kinds of music from, Jimi Hendrix to Miles Davis, and I listened to Wes Montgomery. And when the Beatles came out, I remember, learning a lot of Paul McCartney licks. And when Cream was out, I was listening to Jack Bruce, and little did I know, learning this bass line, "The Sunshine of Your Love," that I'd be playing that thing with Eric Clapton 30 years later and touring all around the world, and so it's just been one of those kind of lives that simply because of picking up this board with 4 strings on it, it just led me to a whole life of wonderful experiences that it would take it would take the rest of the day to talk about all of those. But a few of the highlights have been, and I mean, there have been some highlights. I mean, just to name a few quickly, to travel around the world with some of my favorite musicians and literally play in every corner of the world. I did George Harrison's last tour in Japan. It was the Clapton and George Harrison, and that was absolutely amazing to become friends with someone that has influenced music so much. George Harrison was a lovely man. We used to sort of just hang out together. I'd go to London, and he'd send a car for me straight from the airport. I'd go out to his house in the country, beautiful place, and listen to Beatles stories and just sit there and play. He'd play ukulele, and he couldn't have been sweeter. So for that, I'm very grateful to have had the time to spend with a Beatle, basically. And of course, 20 years playing with Eric Clapton and he's a dear friend. It's just, again, one of the guys that I was listening to when I was learning how to play, and again, his music has transcended all kind of age boundaries, and so we've had so much fun touring around the world together. We've played the Royal Albert Hall in London over 100 times, and it's just we've made many albums and DVDs and videos. We did the Crossroads Festival together, and again, here's someone that I just have so much respect for, musically and this as a person. I mean, he's like a brother to me, and I love him dearly. And he introduced me to a lot of the great British artists. We toured together with Elton John and Mark Knopfler, and looking around and being in bands with these guys is just it's amazing. We played one show at Nebworth in England, and I think there were 250,000 people in the audience, and to play for that many people, again, it's just an experience of a lifetime. I've had the chance to, in my career, perform for the Pope. Played at least 3 inaugurations for both Bill Clinton inaugurals, and for the most recent inauguration concert for Barack Obama in front of 2 million people on the steps of the Lincoln Center. It was an amazing day. We played Bono and James Taylor, Stevie Wonder, Garth Brooks, Beyoncé, a whole host of artists playing for a really exciting event like that. And but then again, I've had just as much fun playing here in LA at the Baked Potato with my buddies. I recently been on tour with Toto, and I'm fortunate to have my own band, a contemporary jazz group called Fourplay, who we've been together for 20 years now. We're just about to release our 12th CD. It's called Let's Touch the Sky. So there's a little shameless plug there for you. And like I say, we could go on forever about some of the great experiences that I've had. And I feel all because of this instrument, the bass. And the interesting thing about the bass is it's primary, as we know, it's primarily a support instrument, but I also love playing chords and writing and kind of turning it into, sometimes into more of a chordal instrument. And one of the songs we recorded on the first Fourplay CD is 101 Eastbound. And if I can try to play it and sing it at the same time, I just enjoy creating different variations on the song. So.
And